This video is going to cover a species of beings known as the Anunnaki. There are numerous spellings of their name, but they are one civilization, and they have made a contribution to the off-world medbeds that we are all waiting for. I'll address that towards the end of the video, but first let's learn a little background. Coincidentally, a movie is coming out called The Anunnaki, Ancient Secrets Revealed. Is this movie predictive programming preparing for extraterrestrial disclosure? Predictive programming is when governments or other powerful entities use fictional movies, books, TV shows, or other forms of media to prepare the public for future events or societal changes. By embedding certain scenarios in entertainment, the idea is that the public becomes desensitized or more accepting of these events when they occur in real life. This is a way to manipulate and control public perception and reaction. This video will give you a better understanding of the Anunnaki, who were central figures in Mesopotamian religion. Based strictly on archaeological findings and written records from ancient Mesopotamia, here's what we can infer. Mesopotamia is historically located within the region that is now modern-day Iraq, along with parts of eastern Syria, southeastern Turkey, and southwestern Iran. Mesopotamia is often referred to as the cradle of civilization, because it was one of the earliest centers of human settlement and urbanization, beginning around 10,000 BCE. The Anunnaki were depicted as powerful deities with specific domains and responsibilities associated with creation and cosmology. The term Anunnaki is derived from the Sumerian words An, sky, and Ki, earth, essentially meaning those who from heaven came to earth. Think about that. They were considered to be gods of the outer world and the earth, often associated with aspects of nature, fertility, and governance. The Anunnaki were worshipped in temples across Mesopotamia. They were considered intermediaries between humans and higher gods. The Anunnaki are frequently mentioned in various cuneiform tablets, including the famous Enuma Elish, the Babylonian creation myth, and the Epic of Gilgamesh. Conservative thought views the Anunnaki as mythical stories, but others believe them to be extraterrestrials who came to Earth to populate it. So based on actual archaeological evidence, we are going to recreate a scenario of what life might have been like for Anunnaki beings on Earth, based solely on archaeological writings and depictions found. Chapter 2. The Artifacts and What They Tell Us. Archaeological artifacts related to ancient Mesopotamian civilizations, including those mentioning the Anunnaki, have been discovered in various types of sites beyond just temples. While temples were certainly important centers for religious activities and likely housed numerous artifacts, significant finds have also been made in other types of locations. Temples such as those dedicated to specific gods like Enki at Eridu or Nana at Ur were centers of religious worship and administration. Artifacts found in these temples include cuneiform tablets, cylinder seals, statues, and ritual objects related to the worship of the Anunnaki and other deities. Royal palaces and administrative centers often contained extensive archives of cuneiform tablets that recorded administrative activities, legal transactions, and correspondence with gods and temples. These records provide insights into religious practices and beliefs involving the Anunnaki. In some cases, smaller artifacts related to personal religious practices or household rituals have been found in residential areas. These can include amulets, small figurines, and household shrines dedicated to various deities, including the Anunnaki. Tombs and burial chambers have yielded artifacts related to funerary practices and beliefs about the afterlife, which often included rituals invoking the protection and favor of gods like the Anunnaki. In times of conflict or crisis, temples and other important structures were sometimes fortified, leading to discoveries of artifacts amidst defensive structures. Overall, while temples were significant sites for archaeological finds related to the Anunnaki and other Mesopotamian deities, artifacts have been discovered in a variety of settings that reflect the multifaceted religious and cultural practices of ancient Mesopotamia. These discoveries contribute to our understanding of how the Anunnaki were revered and interacted with in the daily lives of ancient Mesopotamians. Chapter 3. Significance of the Artifacts. Cuneiform tablets were used in Mesopotamia for writing and record-keeping. Cuneiform is one of the earliest known writing systems with wedge-shaped characters. Made of clay, these tablets served various purposes, including administrative records and literary texts. Tablets were often fired in kilns to ensure durability. Deciphered in the 19th century, they offer insights into Mesopotamian history and culture. These artifacts provide a direct window into one of the earliest recorded civilizations. Before creation, the primordial chaos. Writings about Mesopotamian mythology often describe a time before the establishment of order and civilization, referred to as a primordial chaos or watery abyss. The primordial chaos refers to a state of formless, undifferentiated existence before the establishment of order and structure in the cosmos. While Mesopotamian texts do not provide detailed scientific or metaphysical descriptions, they use symbolic language to depict this primordial state as a watery abyss or a chaotic void. Imagine a vast, swirling ocean of turbulent waters, stretching infinitely in all directions. The waters are dark and deep, swirling with currents that seem to have a mind of their own. Within this abyss, there is no discernible form or shape. It is an endless expanse of darkness where light has yet to penetrate, and where nothing solid exists. The chaos is not just physical matter, but a state of energetic flux where elemental forces clash and merge unpredictably. It is a realm where the forces of creation and destruction are in constant motion, without any order or pattern. Within this chaos, primal forces of nature, such as wind, fire, water, and earth, are in their most raw and uncontrolled forms. These forces interact chaotically, creating swirling eddies and tempestuous storms. The chaos lacks purpose or direction, existing purely as an undifferentiated state of potentiality. It is a canvas upon which the gods and divine beings will later impose order and structure. This was Earth before creation. What is the origin of the Anunnaki? Based strictly on information from artifacts and ancient texts, there is no direct evidence or description of a planet called Nibiru. The concept of Nibiru as a planet from which the Anunnaki purportedly came is primarily based on interpretations and translations by modern authors, particularly Zecharia Sitchin, rather than on archaeological artifacts themselves. The artifacts do mention various celestial bodies. Ancient Mesopotamians were adept astronomers and documented their observations of celestial bodies like the sun, moon, planets, and stars. They had a rich tradition of celestial divination and cosmological beliefs, but there is no specific mention of a planet named Nibiru in these texts. Deities like Anu, the sky god, and Nana, the moon god, were central to Mesopotamian religious beliefs and rituals. We know that ancient Mesopotamian astronomy was advanced for its time, and they had knowledge of several celestial bodies, including the 5 visible planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, the sun, the moon, and stars. Their astronomical observations were meticulous, and they recorded celestial events such as eclipses and planetary movements. Zecharia Sitchin, a proponent of ancient astronaut theories, claimed to have translated ancient Sumerian texts that mention a planet called Nibiru. In Sumerian cuneiform, the term Nibiru, written as DSR-MES in Sumerian script, means crossing or point of transition. It was used in ancient astronomical texts to refer to various celestial bodies, but not specifically as a planet. Sitchin interpreted these Sumerian texts to propose that Nibiru was a planet with an elongated orbit that brought it close to Earth every 3,600 years. He further claimed that this planet was the homeworld of the Anunnaki, ancient astronauts who visited Earth and influenced human civilization. Through his books, such as The 12th Planet published in 1976, Sitchin popularized the concept of Nibiru among readers interested in alternative history and ancient astronaut theories. The name Nibiru became synonymous with the planet associated with ancient astronauts and advanced civilizations. Think of heaven. It cannot be described in the physical or as a physical location outside of Earth. Neither can the origin of the Anunnaki deities. Artifacts document that the Anunnaki were considered to be offspring or descendants of the principal gods of the Mesopotamian pantheon. For example, they were often described as the children of Anu, just as Jesus and indeed all people of the earth are described as the children of God. The Divine Council. In Mesopotamian religious texts, the concept of a divine council or assembly of gods plays a significant role in understanding the governance and hierarchy of the divine realm. An examination of Mesopotamian artifacts and writings describes the divine council consisting of major deities, often led by Anu, the supreme god of the heavens. Anu was revered as the father of the gods and held a position of authority over the assembly. Anu would be akin to God the Father in Christian beliefs. Documentation describes the council convening to discuss and decide important matters concerning the cosmos, human affairs, and interactions with other gods and goddesses. Decisions made by the council could include matters such as the fate of rulers, the outcomes of battles, and the dispensation of divine justice. Within the divine council, gods and goddesses held specific roles and domains of influence. For example, Enlil was often depicted as the god of air, storms, and kingship, while Enki was associated with wisdom, water, and crafts. Lesser gods and divine beings also participated in the council, representing various aspects of nature, fertility, war, and the underworld. Mesopotamian artifacts often portray interactions within the divine council, where gods deliberate on cosmic events and intervene in human affairs. Stories such as the Enuma Elish describe the creation of the world and the rise of kingship through the decisions and actions of the divine assembly. Cylinder seals and reliefs found in Mesopotamian temples and palaces depict scenes of the divine council. These artworks serve as visual representations of the gods seated in council or engaged in divine activities. Further, cuneiform tablets contain hymns, prayers, and mythological texts that mention the proceedings and decisions of the divine council. These writings provide insights into the religious beliefs and practices associated with Mesopotamian governance by the gods. Creation, the purpose of the Anunnaki on Earth. The Anunnaki brought order to the chaos during the formative stages of human civilization. In the land between the rivers, the grand cities of ancient Mesopotamia flourished. The divine Anunnaki walked among mortals, shaping humanity's fate. According to ancient texts, the Anunnaki descended from the skies. Sent by Anu and the divine council, they established order and civilization. They organized human societies and instilled divine law, imparting knowledge of agriculture, architecture, and the arts. The Anunnaki acted as intermediaries between the human and divine realms. Revered as protectors and judges of the dead, they provided blessings to those who honored them. Anunnaki interactions with humans. Ancient texts depict the Anunnaki creating humans to serve the gods. The Enuma Elish describes humans created to relieve gods from labor. The Anunnaki imparted wisdom, teaching agriculture, craftsmanship, and writing. Enki, the god of wisdom, taught secrets necessary for civilization. They served as judges, enforcing divine laws and maintaining order. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, they intervened in human affairs, delivering judgments. Temples and rituals were dedicated to Anunnaki deities for favor and protection. Festivals honored Anunnaki gods, reinforcing the bond between gods and humans. The Anunnaki's legacy endures in ancient texts and ruins. The decline and transformation of Mesopotamian civilizations, including the fading prominence of their pantheon and the Anunnaki, can be attributed to several historical factors rather than a single event involving the departure or destruction of the Anunnaki. Mesopotamia, known as one of the cradles of civilization, saw the rise and fall of several powerful city-states and empires, such as Sumer, Akkad, Babylon, and Assyria, over thousands of years. These societies underwent various periods of political, social, and cultural change. As societies evolved, religious beliefs and practices also transformed. The Mesopotamian pantheon, including the Anunnaki, gradually lost prominence with the spread of other religions and the rise of new political powers. One thing that we humans must understand is that our awareness in this realm is minuscule in the infinity of existence. Many civilizations have come and gone over time, giving way to new ideological thoughts and beliefs. You may live in a time of Christianity, whose origins date back to the birth of Jesus Christ. Philosophers and thinkers operate under the understanding that religiosity existed before Christianity, and they consider theology as an evolution of religions, rather than one predominating truth. So let's consider the decline of the Sumerian civilization around 2000 BCE, which marked a significant transition period. This era saw the rise of Akkadian and Babylonian civilizations, each contributing to the evolution of current Mesopotamian religious and cultural practices. The Assyrian and Babylonian empires, which emerged later, had their own pantheons and religious traditions that evolved from earlier Mesopotamian beliefs. The Anunnaki continued to be part of these traditions, but in altered forms and with varying degrees of importance. There are no historical records or archaeological findings suggesting that the Anunnaki were believed to have left Earth or were destroyed in a catastrophic event. For this reason, beliefs surrounding the Anunnaki transitioned to the realm of mythology and the religious texts, which were preserved and adapted over time by successive Mesopotamian civilizations. In summary, the decline of Mesopotamian civilizations and the mutation of their religious beliefs, including the role of the Anunnaki, were gradually influenced over time by historical, political, and cultural factors. The records tell us that the Anunnaki existed on Earth, but we have no records of their disappearance or destruction. Does this mean that they could still be on Earth helping us evolve? Are we the kids who never grow up and leave the nest? Or are other beings inextricably intertwined with us, but most of us don't know it? One of my favorite authors and contactees, Elena Danan, speaks about the Anunnaki, so in the next and final chapter, we will depart from ancient writings about the existence of the Anunnaki and discuss contemporary wisdom regarding them. Elena has a page on numerous Anunnaki that she has known since previous lifetimes. She reports that Ea has inherited the Anunnaki Empire and is also the one who provided the perfect human DNA, which he calls the Grail, to be used in actualizing the miraculous healing of certain off-world medbeds that we have all heard about. Elena conveys that the deep state is terrified of Ea and will try to discredit him. Be alert, but be grateful. There are so many assisting and providing guidance for our evolution to a higher existence, and we really should be patient and most of all grateful for the love that they are. I will link Elena's page on Ea and the Anunnaki in the description, and you can read for yourself from perhaps the person that knows the most about them. So that's it, guys. Don't fear. There are many, many others helping us through this critical phase of our evolution, both on and off of this world, maybe even inside of it. Who knows anymore? No written historical evidence supports the idea that the Anunnaki departed from Earth or were destroyed in a specific event. This supports the notion that these beings may still be here. Elena Danan conveys inspirational guidance from the Anunnaki and confirms that they remain instrumental in bringing new technology into our future. Once again, the Anunnaki find themselves in the position of helping us to return to order in our chaotic world. They are guiding us to this day, not only out of duty, but out of love. We will always be deeply connected and reliant on the divine. Now tell me, after watching this video, do you think that the upcoming movie entitled The Anunnaki: Ancient Secrets Revealed is predictive programming to prepare us for events that will be occurring in our near future? So until next time, I hope that this video fills you with humility, love, and gratitude for the multitudes of angels that surround us.